الذي خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Welcome back, dear brothers and sisters. Inshallah, today what we're going to do is we're going to revisit our house of Arabic, what we have built so far, and we're going to revisit all the building blocks, and we're going to catch up with all the concepts we learned so far. So it's a quick reminder and quick like a revision. So what we've done so far, inshallah. So we started our journey with alphabets. So we know how many alphabets we have, how different kinds of alphabets, and we should not get confused with alphabets which are used in the language of Urdu, which are quite similar in any other languages. People from other countries who are visiting, who are watching these videos. So make sure we identify Arabic alphabets properly. So we learn the characteristics of certain letters of Arabic alphabets, which are called naughty letters, which do not allow any letters to be joined when they come after it. So they act like a full stop in a word. So when a word comes and we use these letters, then we cannot join them, like wajada, zara'a. If you see, all the letters are separated when these letters come. So that's about naughty letters. And we also learned about certain letters which will be pronounced differently when we use an definite article al, where when we do not produce the sound of lam from the definite article, and where we give shadda to the letter which comes after it, and those letters are called hurufu shams. And these are those letters. And how to recognize these letters is all the letters, the sound of which is produced by bringing the tip of the tongue just at the near the teeth, or just behind or in front of the teeth. Those are the letters which are called huruf shams. For example, here we got ta, tha, dal, zal, ra, za, sin, sheen, sad, ta, ta, za, lam, nun. These are all the huruf shams. And huruf qamar, or the rest of the letters, are called huruf qamar, where the sound of the definite article lam is produced along with the letter which comes after it, and those are called huruf qamar. And these are the letters, the remaining ones. So how do we use those letters, huruf shams? So if we have tajir, we say at-tajir. So the sound of lam is skipped. So we give shadda to the letter which comes after it, like at-thawbu, ad-diku, ad-dhahabu, ar-rajulu. And the huruf qamar is where with the sound of the letter is produced normally along with the sound of lam. That's al-babu, al-abu, al-jannatu, al-himaru. So this is about huruf shams and huruf qamar, a very important concept to be remembered and to recognize, inshallah. Then we learned about what are the different types of words in Arabic. So letters forms words. So we learned that there are 3 types of words in Arabic which forms the whole sentence, paragraph in the whole books, and those words are called ism, fi'al, and harf. So we learned that harf is a word that makes no sense on its own unless there is another word, like we've learned so far: ala, ila, fi, li, min. These are all harf. And we learned that fi'al is a word in which you can get a meaning of a tense. That means present tense, or past tense, future tense. Any word which describes that there is a tense attached to it, that word is called a fi'al, or a verb, what we call. There's the action, and the time of action that has been taken place is embedded within the word. For example, we say he went, so we know that means it's a past tense, and there's action of going, he's went. So there are 2 things coming in a fi'al. So what is the action, and there is a time attached to it. Whereas in ism, there is no time attached to it. So ism, it has a meaning on its own. Unlike harf, it does not make any sense, but ism, it makes sense on its own, and it does not have any tense attached to it, and it consists of a lot of things in Arabic. For example, we have name, place, animal, things, adverbs, adjectives, and more. We learn this, and in this introduction to Arabic, we're doing book 1, where we are mainly concentrating on the ism. So we'll learn more about isms, and in between we're going to learn about fi'l as well. So we started the journey of ism with, so what do we look in ism? There are 4 characteristics which we look in an ism. What are those 4 characteristics? We'll look what is the status of an ism. So any noun will in Arabic will have these 4 characteristics. It will have a status, which is marfu, mansub, majroor. We're going to do in a minute, and it will have a number, gender, and type. So we'll just quickly go through what these 4 things means. Every noun, whether it is name, place, animal, thing, every noun will have these 4 characteristics which we have to recognize. Very, very important. So what is status? What ism status means? Status means what is the noun ending with, whether it is marfu, mansub, or majroor. Every noun can be in this situation. That means, what that means, marfu means where the noun ending with dhamma, double dhamma or single dhamma. Mansub means where a noun ending with double fatha or single fatha. Majroor means where a noun ending with double kasra or single kasra. This is the status. And we learn that a noun, which this is called declension, where the noun is declining from dhamma to fatha to kasra, it's called declension. And when a noun declines completely, we call it as a triptot. And we learned that there are certain nouns which do not decline completely, and those are called diptotes. And we learned so far that the names of all the female names are diptotes, and we briefly touched that any foreign names like Ismailu, Ibrahimu are also diptotes. Inshallah, there is a lesson at the end of book 1 which is completely dedicated to diptot. We'll learn more inshallah. And we also learned that certain nouns, they do not decline at all, and those are called indeclinable. So what are those? Like the pronouns, we learned the demonstrative pronouns, and we learned that the harf, like min, ila, and they have their own status, their own endings which they don't change, and these are all indeclinable. So what are these words called in Arabic? Diptot is called mamnu minas sarf. This is the Arabic word, mamnu minas sarf, which are prohibited from declining. And indeclinable are called mabni. Mabni means which are built like a jamid, which they don't shake, they're fixed. Those are the status. And we learned about numbers. Numbers means a noun can represent whether it is a singular, or it is dual, or it is plural. So in this, so far we have just touched the singular nouns. So inshallah very soon we'll be going into dual and plurals. But remember that a noun can represent whether it is single, or it is dual, or it is plural. And we touched upon genders. So we know in Arabic there are only 2 genders, that is muzakkar and muannas. There is no in between like it, where we use for objects. And how do we recognize a noun is feminine? Because in natural state a noun is masculine. So how do we recognize that it is a feminine? Is that we use the sign ta marbuta it's called. That is 99% of the time it is a sign of femininity. However, there are certain exceptions which I'm going to tell you today. Is certain words which are used for the males, like for example hamzatu, It's a ta marbuta. We say hamza, but it's hamzatu. Talhatu, we say talha, but it's talhatu. It's ta marbuta, but it's a male or masculine names. And we got osamatu, sama. So these are all, those are exceptions, but 99% of the times when you see ta marbuta, it's a feminine noun. And we learn that alif maksura is also a sign of femininity. For example, husna. So if you see this alif maksura, which is ya without dots and a sound of a, it's called short alif. And we know that any noun which ends with this alif mamduda, where there's combination of alif and hamza, and asma'u, hamra'u, and these are as-sama'u, these are all feminine words. This is how we recognize it, inshallah. And then we learned about types as well, where we have indefinite and definite. Alhamdulillah, we know now that indefinite noun means the noun which ends with double tanween, unless it is becoming a mudaf. Hope it makes sense. Okay, if it is becoming a mudaf, then that it is entering into a relationship. But otherwise, a noun on its own, which is indefinite, will have tanween. That is the sound of indefinite sign. And how do we recognize a noun is definite? So we've learned that the definite article al makes a noun definite, and when there is al, the noun will get a single dhamma. It cannot have a tanween. It cannot have two dhammas, two fathas, two kasras when we have al. So now we will learn, inshallah, what are the other ways we have learned so far where a noun is become a definite. We know all the proper nouns are definite. We've learned about demonstrative pronouns. We've learned about pronouns. Inshallah, today we will do is quickly touch upon the addressee as well, which is makes a noun definite. So what are these proper nouns? We've learned so far that if any particular name, place or animal, these are all definite nouns, are proper nouns. And we've done demonstrative pronouns like hadha, hadhihi, zalika, tilka. There are more. Inshallah, as we go along, we'll learn more. But so far, we have done these four. And these are definite pronouns. We're talking about that particular object or this particular object. So that is a definite. And we've learned about our famous pronouns. Everybody knows this hand, these fingers. Huwa, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna. Anta, antuma, antum. Anti, antuma, antunna. Ana, nahnu. All these pronouns are definite because they represent a definite noun which are talking about. And how else a noun becomes definite is by what is called addressee. We use what is called as vocative particle. What does this mean? Which means when you call somebody, we use, for example, in English we use oh man. For example, that to call somebody, it's called harfu nida. What is the harfu nida? The particle which is used to call the people, call attention, is called ya. Ya is called harfu nida. And the word which comes after ya is called munada. It's called munada. And there is a special characteristic of ya and munada, harfu nida and munada. Munada, whether it is definite or indefinite, always takes one dhamma. Because ya makes an indefinite noun into definite, but there is no al. It gives only one dhamma. Let me give you some examples. Like Allahu is a word definite. So if we say ya Allahu. But if you say ustazun, it's an indefinite word, double dhamma. But when you use ya, when you're calling somebody, say ya ustazu. Abbasun, it's a definite but with double dhamma. And what we'll have is ya Abbasu, ya Abbasu. So we don't use ya. We don't call ya Abbasun, ya Abbasu. Rajulun is indefinite. See double dhamma. Ya Rajulu. Ammarun is definitely double tanween, but it becomes ya Ammaru. So on and so forth. So when it comes ya, harfu nida, and the munada is definite, and it will have single dhamma, inshallah. Then we learned about sentences in Arabic. So we know there are only two sentences in Arabic, which is Jumlatul Ismiya and Jumlatul Fi'liya. So what are we looking in these sentences? That is what makes the science of Arabic. So how do we recognize each sentence and what are we looking in each sentence? So we are doing mainly Jumlatul Ismiya. We will learn Jumlatul Fi'liya as well, inshallah. So Jumlatul Ismiya, what we're looking for a subject, or what we call it as Mubtada, and we're looking about what is news about that Mubtada, what is happening, and which is called Khabar. And in Jumlatul Fi'liya, what we're looking few different things. We're looking at the action. What is the action and who is doing the action, which is called, we're looking at the fi'l and we're looking at fa'il. So far in this book we'll be concentrating mainly on these two things, and there is another thing which comes in the Jumlatul Fi'liya, which I'll just briefly tell you, is called Maf'ulun bihi. Maf'ulun bihi, this is the object on which the action has been taking place. Okay, for example, we did Daraba Hamidun Bilalan. So Hamid hit. So whom did Hamid hit? Bilal. So that is an object on which the action has been taking place of hitting. So that is called Maf'ulun bihi. But we will learn about this. So for the moment we are looking at fi'l and fa'il in Jumlatul Ismiya. So if I give an example here to understand this Ismiya and Jumlatul Fi'liya concept, so few people have confusion. So when you see a sentence, look at the beginning. If we see a noun, so just it is Jumlatul Ismiya, what we're looking is Mubtada and Khabar. So in this sentence where we're telling Ahmadu dhahaba ilal jami'a, so Ahmad went to university. So we got Ahmad as Mubtada, and the whole thing which comes after Mubtada is Khabar for Ahmad. So dhahaba ilal jami'ati is Khabar. If you see this sentence here, so we are beginning with dhahaba. So what is it beginning with? It is beginning with the action that is going, he went. So this is called Jumlatul Fi'liya. So we are not looking for Khabar and Mubtada here. What are we looking here is who has gone. That is what we are investigating, we are focusing on. So we see here Dhahaba means he went. Now we have to see who this he represents. So we have to see after the action, we look who is gone. So if we see here Ahmadu, it's called Dhamma, and that is called the one who is gone. He is called fa'il, the subject of the verb. Subject of the verb is called fa'il, and subject of a sentence, nominal sentence, is called Mubtada. So if you see in both the cases, Mubtada and fa'il, the both are marfu. Both are marfu. So that is the difference. So in this here we call it as Mubtada, and Mubtada is the beginning of a nominal sentence, and here it is the subject of the verb. So there's a difference in it. So this Jumlatul Fi'liya. So if you just ignore Ahmad, if you just look at Zahaba ilal Jami'a, itself is a verbal sentence. He went to university. So this verbal sentence is coming as Khabar for Ahmad. And we have done different types of Khabars. Subhanallah. Let's revise what we learned about Khabar. We know about Mubtada, and we have done different types of Khabars. What are those different types of Khabars? We have done that Khabar can be one word, Hada Kitabun. And when it is one word, 99% of the time it is indefinite and it will have double dhamma. That is the sign of khabar, and it is indefinite. And we learn about jar majroor, shibu jumla khabar, where a khabar can be combination of harf jar and ism majroor. And we also learn, alhamdulillah, about zarf, tahta, fawqa, qabla. So that is itself is the khabar for the noun. And in previous example, we learned that a khabar can be the whole verbal sentence, jumlatul fa'iliyah, like Ahmadu dhahaba ila al-jamia. Ahmad went to university. In English, in both ways, it is translated as same. If you say Ahmadu dhahaba ila al-jamia, we say Ahmad went to university. Dhahaba Ahmadu ila al-jamia, we still say, but in Arabic, it makes a lot of difference. So we have to investigate in a different way. And finally, the thing which you have not done in red is Jumlatul Ismiya. Itself can come as a khabar, which we learn later on, inshallah. So these are the types of khabars we have in a sentence. So this is what we are looking, whether it is one word or it is combination, is what type of combination, is jar majroor or it is zarf and mudaf ilayhi. And we got the whole sentence of Jumlatul Fi'liya coming as a khabar. So we have to identify that. And Jumlatul Ismiya itself come as a khabar. For example, if I say Ahmadu huwa ibnul muhandis, he is son of muhandis. So huwa ibn muhandis is itself is a Jumlatul Ismiya coming as a khabar for Ahmadu. So inshallah we will do it again. Just quickly remind you about jar majroor, that's harf jars. So we know these harf jars, bata, kaf, lam, waw, munzu, mufqala, rubba, hasha, min, ada, fi, an, ala, hatta, ila. So any noun which comes after these words is called ism majroor and it will have kasra. And the second type of khabar is about zarf. So we learned about zarf, fawqa, tahta, qabla, ba'da, khalfa, wara'a, bayna, hawla, ghayra, duna, inda, ma'a, ladun, ayyu, ba'du, kullu. So these are the zarf which the noun comes after it will have a kasra. And coming to Fa'liya, Jumlatul Fa'liya. So what are we looking in Jumlatul Fa'liya is what is the action and who is doing the action. This is what we are looking at. Very simple. There will be no confusion. For example, here we learned that Nasara, for example, Nasara, a 3-letter verb, past tense, and its pure form. The verb itself represents who is doing the action. And in the verbs, the doer of the action in the pure form is hidden. This is a nasara. There is no sign of huwa. So that is why we call it as the doer as mustatir, or we have to look for a name of the doer. If it is a nasara, you will look a male name. There should be a male name or it is huwa. So in other verbs, other forms, so we will have the doer attached to the verb, like nasara. So nasara is a pure verb, and if you see this alif musanna, that is 2 people have done the action. So we've learned this, that waw represents all the men have helped, have done the action, and nasarat is a feminine verb. So here we have to look who is doing the action, whether it is mustatir, if it is not mentioned in the sentence after the fi'l, or the name of the female or the feminine object is present after the verb. We have to look for it in these 2 situations. In other situations, we've got the signs attached to the verb, like nasarata, nasarat, plus a, alif musanna, 2 women. And we learned here that after hunna of lam kalima will take sukoon, and we have got the sign of the pronoun attached to the verb, which represents who is doing the action. Na means all those women helped. Third, and we got the anta means nasarta, and these are all the part of pronouns attached to the verbs nasarta, nasartuma, nasartum, and that represents who is doing the action. Ta means you, tuma means you both, tum means all of you, nasartum all of you helped, ti is you, feminine, tuma, tunna. These are the files. So this is the fa'al and file. They always come together, can't be separated. And alhamdulillah, finally coming to the end of the journey so far, we've learned different types of relationships between nouns. The first relationship what we learned is harf jar and ism majrur. Wherever there is a harf, should always have an ism and it will always have kasra. Even if there is no kasra, we know that it is majrur. And then we learned about mudaf, mudaf ilayhi, where two nouns are connected in terms of possession, and we in English we translate it as of, like book of Muhammad, mudaf, mudaf ilayhi. And the last one which we did was ismul ishara comes, and a noun comes with starting with al. Any noun which comes after ismul ishara, like hada, hadihi, zalika, tilka, and a noun starting with al, and that is called a badal. Al badal with ismul ishara. So these are the three relationships which you learned, and I hope even though it's a lot of information, you know everything now. Just break it down, revise, get all these concepts clear. Inshallah, it should help. And in the next session, inshallah, we'll be learning another relationship, very beautiful relationship, and alhamdulillah, you will start understanding Quran much better, in a better way. So all of this knowledge is the most beneficial knowledge in here and hereafter, inshallah. Hope we all get used to this and benefit from this. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi